A few minutes ago, you were having a pretty tough time, I saw, in a dungeon. I'm glad you fought your way out to talk to us. Do you find this side of filming particularly strenuous?
Sean Connery, born Thomas Sean Connery on August 25th, 1930, in Edinburgh, Scotland, remains one of the most iconic and celebrated actors in the history of cinema. His career spanned more than 5 decades, during which he garnered international fame, critical acclaim, and a lasting legacy as an actor who could effortlessly blend charm, charisma, and a sense of rugged masculinity. His rise to stardom, however, wasn't one of privilege, but a story of perseverance, hard work, and a series of fortunate breaks. An incredible life and career.
Well, it was a bit arduous because I hadn't anticipated so many sort of hassles with the production and everything, but you must know what I'm talking about. I just realized that when I started Bond, you started your show.
Was it in '62, the first one you did?
21 years.
Connery was raised in a working-class neighborhood, the son of a factory worker and cleaning lady. His early life was far from glamorous, and his family struggled with poverty. However, Connery's physical presence, which was noted even in his youth, helped him stand out. He enlisted in the Royal Navy at age 16, but after a few years of service, he was medically discharged due to health issues. Connery's early life was a mix of menial jobs, including work as a milkman, a lifeguard, and a laborer. It was during these years that he developed a love for bodybuilding, which would later shape his physical presence on screen. His big break came in the late 50s, when he began appearing in television roles. His first significant film role came in 1957 in the war drama Action of the Tiger. But it was his casting as James Bond in Dr. No that forever changed the trajectory of his life and career. The suave, enigmatic British secret agent became Connery's defining role, and his portrayal of Bond in Dr. No set the tone for a series of films that redefined the spy genre and elevated Connery to international stardom. The character of James Bond, created by author Ian Fleming, was already a cultural touchstone by the time Connery was chosen. But Connery's charismatic performance brought a new dimension to the character, combining sophistication, toughness, and an unmistakable sexual appeal. His interpretation of Bond in Dr. No was an immediate success, leading to subsequent films in the series, including From Russia with Love, Goldfinger, Thunderball, You Only Live Twice, and Diamonds Are Forever. Connery's Bond was not just a man of action, but also a character with a biting wit and a sense of inner conflict, a departure from the more straightforward action heroes of the era. While Bond became synonymous with Connery, the actor's career was defined by a wide range of roles outside the franchise. He demonstrated remarkable versatility, taking on dramatic roles in films like The Hill, where he portrayed a soldier in a North African prison, and The Man Who Would Be King, where he starred alongside Michael Caine in a story set in colonial India. His work in these films showed that Connery was capable of more than just action roles. He could also bring depth and complexity to characters in historical and dramatic contexts. In 1983, Connery returned to the Bond franchise in Never Say Never Again, a non-Eon Productions Bond film, making his return to the role after a long hiatus. Despite his advanced age, Connery proved he could still embody the character with grace and charm. His return to the role was highly anticipated, and while Never Say Never Again did not achieve the same commercial success as the official Bond films, it nonetheless cemented his position as the definitive Bond in the eyes of many fans. Despite his undeniable connection to James Bond, Connery was always quick to distance himself from the role. He recognized that the franchise, while lucrative, had the potential to typecast him as only a suave secret agent, limiting his opportunities as an actor. To avoid this, he made a conscious effort to seek out a variety of roles across different genres. He appeared in the comedy The Rock, the historical epic Robin and Marian, and the adventure film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, where he played Harrison Ford's father, earning praise for his comedic timing and chemistry with Ford. Perhaps one of Connery's most lauded performances came in 1987 when he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in The Untouchables, largely considered one of his best films outside of the James Bond series. The classic film was directed by Brian De Palma, who dreamed of working with Connery. His portrayal of the no-nonsense Irish cop Jim Malone was a far cry from Bond, yet it showcased his incredible range and cemented his status as one of the finest actors of his generation. The role allowed Connery to prove he was capable of depth and subtlety, playing a character that was both a mentor and a moral compass for Kevin Costner's Elliot Ness. As Connery entered his later years, he began to take on fewer roles, but he continued to pick projects that suited his interests and offered the right challenges. In the late 90s and early 2000s, he appeared in The Rock, Entrapment, and Finding Forrester, each of which showcased a more mature version of the actor, someone who had settled into his role as a revered figure in Hollywood. But the 2003 film, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, would prove to be Connery's final film role, and it marked a bitter end to his career. Based on the comic book series by Alan Moore, the film presented Connery with the opportunity to play Allan Quatermain, a Victorian adventurer who leads a team of famous literary characters in a quest to stop a criminal mastermind. Connery was drawn to the project because it offered a chance to step into a heroic leadership role once more, but the production was plagued with problems from the outset. The film was beset by numerous challenges, including script rewrites, delays, and a troubled production process. Connery, who had long been a star of major films, found himself frustrated with the direction of the project and the way it was being managed. He was reportedly unhappy with the film's final product and felt it did not live up to its potential. Director Stephen Norrington and Connery had creative differences during the filming, and Connery's experience on the set was far from pleasant. The film's failure at the box office and its critical drubbing only deepened Connery's disillusionment. In the wake of the film's release, Connery announced his decision to retire from acting, citing his negative experience on The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen as a key factor in his decision. He revealed that the frustrating production process, coupled with the film's poor reception, led him to conclude he no longer had the desire to continue in the industry. He had already achieved immense success and had no interest in continuing to work on projects that did not excite him. Connery's retirement was both a personal and professional decision, one that allowed him to step away from the spotlight and live his life on his own terms. Connery's retirement was bittersweet for his fans, who had long adored his performances on screen. His exit from the industry left a void in the world of cinema, as few actors could match his combination of gravitas, charm, and talent. He remained a beloved figure in popular culture, with his portrayals of James Bond and other iconic roles becoming etched in the collective memory of audiences worldwide. He lived a relatively quiet life after retiring, spending time with his family and enjoying his privacy. Though he shied away from the limelight, his presence was still felt in the world of film, with his legacy living on through the characters he portrayed and the impact he had. Legacy.
You've reached the age of 73 without losing it, in the sense that, you've been voted the sexiest man of the century, for God's sake.
Well, they have great taste.
Connery's death on October 31st, 2020, at age 90, marked the end of an era in cinema. He passed away in his sleep in the Bahamas, where he'd been living for several years with his wife, Micheline Roquebrune. His death was met with an outpouring of grief and tributes from fans, colleagues, and fellow actors. His influence on the film industry was undeniable, and his contributions to cinema were celebrated worldwide. Sean Connery's career was not just a testament to his acting talent, but also his resilience, versatility, and ability to reinvent himself across various genres and roles. From his early days in Edinburgh to his global fame as James Bond and beyond, his journey was one of persistence, reinvention, and extraordinary success. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite Sean Connery role? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below.